No, this is not what America wants. And yes, we should have turned the TV off. I was just watching. I want Coldplay back. Hell, I want Janet Jackson back. I want anybody but this. The level of divisive was beyond. Where is the diversity in anyone that was out on that field during that halftime show? And why are we tolerating this in this day and age when we are one nation under God for everyone? Somebody had to have vetted this, and we all know who it was. The NFL, the ones in charge of being the most divisive organization in this country at the moment. Somebody bring back someone who was actually worth watching during the halftime show.
So you're saying there was a lack of diversity? Not as much equity in the workforce, or dare I say, inclusion? Huh. You're getting close.
And the numbers are in. Kendrick Lamar is officially the highest all-time viewed halftime Super Bowl performance act ever. Michael Jackson previously held the all-time high. He had 133.4 million viewers in 1993 for his blockbuster of a Super Bowl performance. And now Kendrick Lamar can officially take the number one seat, being the most viewed. And I'm just wondering, is Drake okay? Has anyone checked on him? Because that's rough. And let's just give a very, very well-deserved round of applause to Kendrick Lamar. Because yes, a lot of people tuned in for the pettiness, but my gosh, this guy is able to build in history, build in so much meaning into his performance as he did that day. And it's turning into an absolute cultural force, and I'm here for it. So good job.
I don't know what people were expecting from a Pulitzer Prize winning artist who brought what is considered a singular texture to West Coast lyricism. But what we saw was an assertion of dignity and community that was layered and deserves multiple breakdowns. And what is already considered a historic Super Bowl halftime show on the level of power that Michael Jackson brought to the show in 1993, Kendrick Lamar and his production team didn't bring the expected victory lap, but a rallying cry and a warning shot. Over 100 million people saw it, and it's already being panned by some people. And I think if there's one takeaway from this, it's that not everything is for everyone. But I want to hit on why we felt the way we did and why this felt like a soul win during Black history for so many people. Kendrick, whose art is introspective and reflective on the American culture and what haunts that culture, was never going to pull up to this show and jive and shuck, right? Palatable form of entertaining Blackness. That wasn't going to happen. He's aware of a couple things. This is the NFL. This is the Super Bowl. This is an event that has a mythic and religious center of place in our society. We plan our weekends around watching this game. People spend money on food, inviting people over, everybody surrounding the TV. People wait in anticipation to see who's going to be performing in between the teams performing and entertaining us when they take their break. We expect corporations paying millions of dollars for each second to be worthy of our time. And those commercials, that sell us products and ideas and American values and try to compete to tell us what we should value in our lives, those are rated and ranked every year. People are hyped for them. Multiple conglomerations spend so much time and money planning to compete for your attention and to grab it and hold on to it for the rest of the year. The NFL itself, an institution that has faltered and failed the bodies of the men of color that make them their billions, has their own corporate priorities and needs that they need met during this event. It's about stories, the stories that determine what teams we root for and what products we end up bringing into our homes. And this year, during what is considered a constitutional crisis in these United States of America, the man who caused it all, President Donald Trump himself, rolls up to the show to back the Chiefs. Adding to the drama, Dr. Jill Biden and her grandson rooting for the Eagles in another box. And then we have Kendrick Lamar here to tell America something, or to remind us about the game beneath the game and the spirit we need to meet it. So Kendrick Lamar is aware that there's an open and outright hostility towards Black people in this country. It's part of a generations-long tradition. That hatred is what has allowed people like Trump to rise to power. He is aware that people will dismantle their own government, MAGA and Confederacy, I see you, in order to feel superior to Blackness. That this kind of destruction is something people will choose over having to share a country in unity and equity with Black people. He knows that Blackness itself is blamed for the so-called regression of American greatness and that who we are, as we are, is the problem. The history and the present day experience of the American experiment and the American economy has been about powerful people manipulating poor white people and other immigrants to use and discard the bodies of black people in order to have everything they have. This country was able to rise to the economic prominence it has because of its access to black bodies and black labor. The accurate and real history of America is built black body by black body by black body. And when our communities, for just a few decades ago, were allowed the opportunity to participate in the American economy more fairly, what did they find? Denigration and harassment. And right now, a man sits in the White House who wants all of us to believe that the problem with America is incapable, unqualified, bumbling blacks trying to be in places they shouldn't be. There is a push from Americans everywhere that they don't need to see black people on every corner and in every TV show and in everything, who think black people are just too loud, too ghetto, too much, and take up way too much space in this American life. And if we would just play the very fair game they are graciously allowing us to play, we too could rise. And Kendrick Lamar said, "Let me have a word with my people." Part of what made the show so affirming was that it spoke to and in defiance of an American lie. It played in corporate faces for that desire for a palatable, happy blackness. It showed a self and social awareness that didn't preach, but winked at us. And we heard what he was trying to tell us. We saw a black man and a group of black men and women embody with confidence the kind of defiance and awareness that has carried us all the way through to this present moment. An awareness of a system that we are working within. We've had a month of American losses. There have been so many attempts to erase Black History Month. We are seeing a particular kind of governmental sadism inflicted on the most vulnerable populations. A kind of callous cruelty and indifference, but the opposite of indifference is love. It is a kind of love that includes and treasures the particular nuance of a specific group of people in a place. It is the attention to detail in the streetlights, in the grills, in the two-tone wigs, and in the outfits, and the dances, and the moves. It's a kind of love that takes pride in showing and telling just who you are. And that show was undoubtedly a clear love and treasuring of Black people and Black places. Even the construction of the stage was an understanding and a shared awareness of who we are in context of the American games we have been forced to play. It was clearly blackety black in a time where companies and people are hiding their flags, they're hiding their statements, and they're pretending that they never had a commitment to ending racism. It was a show and a demonstration of a particular love for a West Coast Black culture that has cradled Kendrick and part of a moment of uncompromising artistry and personhood. We are still here, joyful, composed, and in formation, in that we are America and there is no America without us. Kendrick said, "Stay whole and let them choke" with this show. That kind of Black joy, not Black happiness, but a joy that is understanding of the light and the darkness that we have all carried and that was carried before us, it's powerful because it's true. Kendrick is a wordsmith and has a clear command of the English language, and it reminded me of what my English teacher once told me many years ago. She said, "Tell the truth, because the truth is a kind of power that moves people." And Kendrick, we thank you for moving us.
To everyone online expressing how much they did not enjoy Kendrick's halftime performance, let me just say this to you. He doesn't care. He doesn't care whether we liked that performance or not, and I know this because he opened up the most important performance of his career with unreleased music. The man doesn't care. And then he proceeded to use almost all of his time to perform GNX, an album that just came out. He does not care. That performance, if you know anything about Kendrick and you've been following his career, that performance was the most Kendrick Lamar thing I have ever seen. That he took the most important performance of his career, the most important moment of his career, to say F mainstream media. And you know what else? Within 24 hours, he has already surpassed Usher's YouTube views within 24 hours. He already won. He don't care.
I feel like the people who said that Kendrick's performance sucked or wasn't good lack critical thinking skills to be able to dissect the entire performance, and have forgotten that music, specifically rap, is a form of protest and expression. Music isn't just, oh, literally, daddly, just dance and sound good. No, especially rap. Rap is literally a form of communication. Rap was made by Black Americans. It's been used as a form of protest, used as a, a form of expression. People have forgotten that. Kendrick literally said the revolution will not be televised. And when it was on live and people were watching the performance on live, there were so many symbols viewed from up top, so many symbols and people that were not seen that had a deeper meaning. People that were running onto the field with the Free Palestine and Free Congo and Sudan flags, they weren't televised on TV. But in the extra clippings that you can go and look up, see the full version of the performance, you see them on there, you see people recording them. I have a feeling that Kendrick knew, and I feel like he knew what was going on and just wasn't bothered, because the people that were going onto the field with the flags were making sure they were just where they were at to be seen, but not in disturbance of their performance or of the dancers. And the dancers didn't even seem phased. I didn't see it when I watched it on live, but after I watched the entire thing that had been recorded, the foundation and the formation of Kendrick's performance was like a video game. A circle, game over in the stands. There's so much to dissect here. There's so many dots that we can connect. It's so hard to do that. It's hard to have deeper understanding and explain to people when there's people over here that don't even know what the meaning of 40 acres and a mule is. Oh, we didn't get taught that in school. We didn't do this. They didn't teach us that in school. If you're only relying on school to learn the history of Black and African people, you're the problem. I don't wait to be educated. I educate myself. The longer you sit around on your tail and wait for someone to tell you something to educate you about yourself and your history, the longer in the dark that you will be. You have to go out there and get yourself educated. You sitting around waiting for someone to do that for you you not being taught about that in school isn't an excuse. I'm not coming after anyone's like music taste. I'm not saying you're wrong for still liking Drake's music or still want to listen to Drake. Growing up, I listened to his music. I liked his songs. The performance wasn't just about Drake. Kendrick used Drake as an example for the entire revolution, the entire point that he was trying to get to. Drake profiting off of Black culture, rating himself as a hood dude who knows the streets and who shoots people and who this, that, the third. On good and well, he didn't grow up like that. The only reason that he's embracing Black culture now is because it's profiting him. He used Drake as an example, a very good example, to get his point across. Again, listen to who you want to. I'm not judging anyone's genre of music. I'm not saying you don't like Kendrick or didn't like his performance. You're this, that, and the third. I'm just saying, let's not forget that music, specifically rap, is a form of expression, protest, and even communication. Communicated with thousands and thousands, maybe millions of people through a few songs, through an entire performance. A lot of people just listen to music to dance and feel good. Others listen to music to feed their mind and soul.
On the Super Bowl halftime show last night with Kendrick Lamar, the people who experience and see life as Kendrick does fully understood the depth and width of his performance last night. It wasn't meant to be a catchy, feel-good moment necessarily. It was art. It was a statement. I picked up on some of the symbolism, but I didn't get it all either. I'm already deaf, so that could have been part of it. I should have had on the captions, but I didn't. But he did enough to make me want to know more, and so I researched. TikTok has some great videos on here that break it down. I'm not qualified to do that, but there are a lot of people on here that are. And you know what? Even after watching those videos, I still may not get it completely, but not understanding a genre of music or a particular artist does not make or break a halftime show. Enjoy it. Watch out of curiosity, or go make some popcorn and walk off your wings. There's just no need to bash. Just because it's not your thing isn't everybody else's thing. And yet we all live on this big old planet together. I'm glad we aren't all alike, and I hope you are too. We're still all made in God's own image. I will say this, it was the most modest halftime show I've seen in a minute in terms of dress and dancing, so you can't complain about that. So how about we not complain about anything and learn more about it. Learn what was behind it. Learn what you didn't understand. Find out before you speak. That's all I got to say about that. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you later.